I came home from Scriptus to a box from Appelboom, so let's see what Yost sent. I sort of have an idea of what's in here because we had a discussion and he offered to send something, but I don't know the color of what's in this case, so we'll set that to the side. I also got 2 stroop waffles. These are delicious. I ate so many of these at DC because Yost was across from us and would just like toss them to me over the crowd. I ate too many of these at DC. They are delicious though, and are one of my favorite treats with a cup of coffee. So I'm very excited to have a couple for my stash because I'm actually out. I brought home some from DC, but they are long gone. So I've got 2. Other than that, this contains a pen. And this contains a pen that I'm very excited to try because it is the first Esterbrook that I can think of in a long time that doesn't include a Yovo nib. And this isn't really being discussed, but Tom Otto in his Gold Spot video discussed that it wasn't a Yovo nib. I looked at it briefly at Scriptus. It definitely doesn't look like a Yovo feed. So I'm interested to see what it feels like in the hand. So let's open this up. Also, whoever wraps these does a stunning job. It's spectacular. So I'm going to open this very carefully and try not to destroy it because I do think it's done very nicely. So let's open this up. Oh, that's so fun. Oh, that's so much fun. Might have to steal that for wrapping gifts this year. But there we go. It's an Esterbrook Peanuts pen. Now, I did not receive an offer for one of these directly through Esterbrook, but I was lucky enough to get one through another shop that I work with. And I'm super excited to test this out because the branding seems really fun. Like, become part of the Peanuts world has never found so fun. Esterbrook tools perfect for any occasion. Dear pen pal. Dear pencil pal. Becoming part of the Peanut. Yeah. All right. Oh, Mom's going to be very happy. It's the one color she really wanted, which is Sally. So it comes with a pen and a tiny little t-shirt. I will say I don't totally understand the point of the t-shirt. I've seen some people call them nib wipes. I've seen other people stick them on their hands and turn them into like puppets. I wish it had been like Back to the Land where the accessories had sort of gone with the pens. So you had the nib wipes and you had those things where they were really themed to the collection. Because I don't totally understand this. And there's not an explanation in the box. You just sort of randomly have a little t-shirt. So I guess I'm going to use it as a nib wipe. It feels like it'll probably be a good nib wipe. I also do love that it's got a tiny Esterbrook tag in it, like a real item of clothing would. I think that's a fun touch. I just don't totally understand the t-shirt. So we have our t-shirt. We have our warranty card. We have a cartridge. And we have our little, all you need is love, a dog, and a pen. And I think that's all that's in this box. We also have an Appelboom sticker. So let's take a look at this pen. What nib size is this pen supposed to be? This is a fine. So these pens only, I believe, came in fine or medium, and you can't get any of the other Esterbrook specialty nibs on them because they aren't Yovo nibs. So let's open this up. Also, it comes in a plastic bag. I don't think normally when I get a pen from Esterbrook, it comes in a bag. I wonder if it's because it's metal But normally when you get a pen from Esterbrook, they don't come in a plastic bag. They just come in the case. Maybe it's because it's a paper case and not their normal padded case. I don't know. Interesting. So it unscrews and you've got the good grief fine nib in there. And this is where it gets interesting. So I've pulled other pens that are Esterbooks from my collection. There's a normal Esterbrook nib. There's this nib. So you can see it's significantly smaller and the shoulders are a lot shorter and the feed is super different. So I'm going to go grab inks because neither of these are inked up. Actually, none of my Esterbooks are inked up because I've been cleaning pens. So I'm going to go grab inks and then we will do a writing comparison of a whole bunch of different Esterbooks and sort of see where this non-Yovo, where we don't quite know what the nib is, pen falls. I'm also going to see if I can find anything in my collection that is this nib or feed. I have a lot of different feeds in my collection and I wonder if I've got anything that's similar. So I'll be back. So I can honestly tell you that I did not expect what just happened. The very first pen I picked up was a match, or what looks to be a match. So this pen, which is the new Esterbrook, has this very sort of shallow V for the nib. I'm actually going to zoom you in more so you can see it better. So we've got this very shallow V for the nib. A normal Esterbrook nib, which is what I have here, has this very deep V with these very deep sides, whereas this one is very shallow here and then it's very, very pointy. And I've got a lot of pens in my collection, and so I decided let's just start with the first size 6 I could think of, which was a Navilar Horizon. I've almost always got one of these inked up. And lo and behold, that looks pretty similar. Now, I don't know that they're a perfect match. The tipping on the nibs looks different. These are both a fine, and there's a little bit of difference in the tipping. There's a lot less of a ball with the Esterbrook tipping compared to the Navilar tipping. And so, I don't know. If I had to guess, though, I think that these are far more likely to be coming from at least a similar factory than the Esterbrook one coming from the same factory as the Esterbrook nibs do normally. But we are going to do a writing sample with all of them, just for the sake of being complete in this. I also am curious because I feel like the cap on this pen is heavier than the pen itself. I don't know that I'm right, but I will weigh them afterwards and I will leave those measurements in the description below. Normally I'd ink up pens. I don't really feel like inking them up, so we're just going to dip stuff and see which nib writes the way I like it to write. These two definitely will. Both of these have been tuned to my liking. This one in the middle will be interesting though. It's been a while since I've used an untuned fine nib and it should be an interesting time. So let's grab some paper and test that out. I have our paper and I have our ink. We are using Mont Blanc Midnight Blue, mostly because it cleans out of pens easily, and because I'm just dipping these, I do want it to be easier to clean them out of pens. Where is my towel for cleaning pens? I don't know. Oh, there it is. Let's grab this just so we've got it. So to start with, we're going to do a normal Esterbrook. This is a normal. All right, pretty standard. It's a Yovo. We know what that writes like. Here's the Sally. I have to say, this one, there are parts of it that feel quite similar. Like if you look at the grip section, that is so similar to an Estie. And then when you look at the nibs, you realize that really they don't look that similar. But the grip in the threading section looks very similar. It does feel ever so slightly wider, and an Estie has a little lip. You sort of see right before you get to the nib. This has no lip. So this is the that feels pretty similar. Let's try this last one. Oh, this has a green ink in it. I have to say, the Yovo definitely feels stiffer, but like more like Yovos have such a distinct noise to them. Like this one feels quite, it's not a bad writing experience. It feels stiffer. And whereas with the Yovo, like it's easy to get those sharp lines. It sort of feels like this is just a little bit less fine-tuned. Maybe that's the right way to describe it. It's less fine-tuned. Whereas this one is, let's do this one again, more similar to the Yovo, but I think this has also been tuned. It's the only fine I have in my collection though. I have to say, I didn't expect to find something that looked similar. And I don't know that they're the same manufacturer. I haven't asked. I probably won't ask. It's unlikely that anyone will confirm for me. Just based off of looks though, those look to be pretty similar. And I'm confident enough to say that I think they probably, if they aren't coming from the same manufacturer, they're being manufactured in a very similar way. So, with that all in mind, how do I feel about the Peanuts collection? I like some parts of it, and I find other parts of it incredibly confusing, like we've talked about earlier. The t-shirts. I love the idea of the pen pouches, but I don't love the fabric that they use for the pen pouches. It's sort of that like jackety windbreaker fabric, and that stuff gets ripped all the time. I just don't really want a pen pouch in it, as cute as they are. I do like the little koozies. They've done more of them. And so, I don't know. It's interesting. I feel interested. I'm happy I own one. I think it's an interesting addition to the Esterbrook collection. And let me know your thoughts down below. How do you feel about Esterbrook moving away from Yovo nibs? Are you interested in seeing them do it in other pens? Would you like them to stick with Yovo? I have to say, I have a soft spot for Yovo nibs because they're what I get all my custom grinds on. But if they're gonna move away from Yovo nibs, I wish they'd say it so that I can stop getting my custom work all done on Yovos, assuming that they're gonna fit in a whole bunch of pens going forward. I also don't know that it's necessarily a bad thing that we're seeing brands start to diversify their nibs. For a long time, it's been Schmidt Yovo, or in some cases Bach nibs, and seeing a couple other nib manufacturers come onto the game might not be a bad thing for the industry. So let me know your thoughts down below. Are there any things about the Peanuts collection that you really liked? Are there any things you absolutely hated? I want to know it all. As always, thanks so much for watching. Thank you so much to the team over at Appelboom for sending the pen along. I am very grateful that I got to try it out, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Have a great day. Bye.